Dude, new bike day?
Oh yeah.
Andrew's new bike day. This is his first ever ride on his forbidden Dreadnought, and he's got it at recommended settings, and then we're gonna hit the trails and run you guys through how we adjust and dial in our bikes from those recommended settings.
First ride setup, I think, is something that a lot of people struggle with, and getting it wrong from the start can impact your overall feel of the ride. Like, a lot of times if you have a bad setup, it's just a bad setup, it's not like the bike or you. So I think this very first step of getting a good base setting is super important to like overall enjoying your ride.
Alright, so what are some of the tools we use when we're setting up our bike for the first time?
Well, one of the first things you should do is set your sag, and for that you need a shock pump and some kind of measuring device, like this handy dandy ruler to measure your sag. The next step is to get your tire pressure right to what you want. So you need a handy tire pressure gauge, and the last thing that you need is a good multi-tool from Oneup to adjust anything that needs adjusting, which certainly there will be. Obviously the multi-tool is super important for adjusting all the clickers on your shock, which is probably the main aim of today. So definitely need a multi-tool and shock tools and tire tools.
And then what if we're getting hungry and bonking on the trail? We've got our jelly beans, just in case. Jelly Belly, sponsor us. I just got done installing these brand new Hayes Dominion brakes, and I'm really excited to try them out. But before we hit the trail, it's really important that we bed in our brakes, and that means that our brake pads and our rotors are going to exchange material and start working together nicely. And so I'm going to run you guys through a quick bed-in procedure. So we've got a nice gradual hill here. I'm going to get up to around 15 miles an hour, and then I'm going to do a steady stop. I'm going to gradually pull the brakes to decelerate, and then I'm going to let off before I hit a full stop. I'm going to pedal back up the hill, and I'm going to do it at least 5 times. I want to start to feel the power in the brakes increasing, and that's how I know that my brakes are starting to bed in, and that I'll be good to go when I hit the trail. They're going to be strong enough, and I'm not going to have any weird noises that appear over time. So it's pretty straightforward to just adjust as we're riding up the hill, just getting our shifting dialed in.
Yeah, I just gave it a full turn on, so more tension on the barrel adjuster on my shifter here, and it's all good. So sorted.
We're about to drop in, and Andrew's gonna see how it feels. What are you gonna be looking for?
Just the overall feel of the bike, whether I feel balanced or if there's anything that is like way abnormal, like I'm getting kicked or anything.
So what pace are you gonna be going at to start right now?
Very conservative, just feeling it out, because there could be something totally wrong, and that will probably make me do some dumb things.
Yeah, so brand new bike, take it easy when you're doing your first lap, even though it's super exciting. Just take a moment to get dialed in, and then it'll pay off.
Let's go.
Woo!
Dude, it's actually feeling like super balanced. It's a little longer than I'm used to, but it's kind of just like monster trucking through it. It's pretty sweet. But so far I'm pretty good with all the suspension. It feels pretty good. The main thing is just my brakes. They're just a little too far out, so I'm just going to wind them in so they're just a little closer.
Sweet, yeah, so we're just going to get the brake adjustment there. Yeah, brake setup's super important.
Yeah.
Alright, this part is sick. Oh, he's gapping me. Alright, so what adjustments do you think after the first lap?
The overall feel of the bike is pretty good. The suspension, I like how active it is, but it's probably a little too active. This track's pretty chundery, so I just want to slow the low speed rebound down front and rear just to give it a bit more planted feel, because I'm just getting chucked around a little.
Sweet.
So yeah, we made those changes to the suspension back there. So I think it's important to say that when you're making those changes, you should only adjust one circuit at a time. It's really easy to just start twisting knobs thinking that you know whatever, but that can just lead you to go in circles, just not really feeling what each circuit changes the feel on the bike for you.
So we're at the top of our second lap.
Yep.
We've got just one adjustment, that rebound dialed slower.
Yep.
We'll see how it is.
Yeah, so I'm just mainly feeling to see if it's a bit more planted, not so skippy around everywhere, and I'm just still getting my brake pull just right, and yeah, still taking it easy but having a blast.
All right. All right, so this track's a little tighter. What are we going to be feeling for in the corners?
Overall, the length and the height of my bars. Just going to see how well I can get around those corners, and yeah, that's about it. Oh, rock! Kicking rocks out.
How'd it feel on that track?
Yeah, pretty good. Not great, just still getting it dialed in. I feel like I'm getting a fair bit of feedback, particularly through the fork. The shock is feeling pretty planted. And I think the slower, tighter turns, I was just a little bit unstable, not really sinking into my travel as much as I want. So it's just a little bit skittery. So I'm thinking that's more of a compression problem. So I'm gonna back off the low speed compression about 3 clicks, and then just see how that feels.
See if I can keep up this time. No, that bike is eating. Inside lines, let's go. Oh, look at him go.
I think I'm going to try to just back off the low speed compression on my shock. It's feeling pretty good, but I just want to see if I can get a little more small bump sensitivity out of it. But I don't want to go too much, because I still want to get that good supportive platform to push off. We are going to make some suspension changes, just backing off the low speed compression on my shock. And then another thing you want to do when you've got a brand new bike is after a lap or two, just check that the pivots are tight. Before they've bedded in and found their place, they have a habit of rattling loose really easily. So you just want to go up, not necessarily tighten them, but just check that they're not moving.
There we go. Bottomed out my fork. Straight in?
Sure. I feel pretty good.
Sweet!
Jumping off.
Feeling good. All right. How'd it feel?
Oh yeah, I feel pretty good. I think at some point, not today, I want to lower my stack height a little. When I'm uncompressing from corners, my bars are just feeling a little like just unweighted. I just want to settle it down a little.
Right on. Well, good lap. That was sick.
Yeah, fairly sick. So at the end of the day, once you've done all your changes that you want and it's feeling pretty good, you want to definitely make sure to make a note of where you're at in your suspension. So whether that's writing that down on a note on your phone, you just want to measure the clicks to closed on each circuit and just write that down. So like high speed compression is like 6 or something like that. And just note down the air pressure and all your adjustments, and that way if anything changes for whatever reason, you can always go back to the setting that you liked.
What were your impressions of the bike?
Super sick. It was a little longer than my previous bike, so that took a little bit of adjusting, but definitely charges. Like on the flat out open rough stuff, it just friggin' went. The suspension needed the most adjusting to get it feeling good in the tighter stuff, but it's still, for as long as it is, it's still hooked around the tighter turns really well. And yeah, just freaking stoked on it. It's like just how it is good, and I've just been playing with suspension. Like I haven't had to do anything else, so it's kind of a bit of a plug and play there. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh, please shit. You know, that hit my toe. Oh my god. You almost died from a rock. Oh my god.